Hello, and welcome to Two Guys and a Few Good Men.
I am TJ Washoot,
and I am Garrett Loberg.
And this is Movie Lowdown for the week of September 3rd, 2018.
So, let's get right into the news.
Alright, first up we have Crazy Rich Asians. Yes, they're in the news again. Looks like they are biggest grossing rom-coms in almost a decade.
Yeah, this is a really cool story. I like that this movie has gotten so much publicity and people seeing it, because they dropped a trailer 3 weeks before the movie released, and nowadays when they do that, a lot of times they don't get a lot of screen time, but this has been on the top of the charts for the last 3 to 2 weeks, I believe, and they've been kicking other movies out of the water.
So just to give you an idea of where they're at, over $100 million at the domestic box office, and they're climbing. They recently surpassed Trainwreck, which was Amy Schumer's movie that came back out in 2015, and they also are on their way to pass The Proposal, which came out in 2009 with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, which earned $164 million at the domestic box office.
Yeah, and this is such a crazy movie to begin with that I think they're going to pass it. I guarantee you they pass it in the next 4 weeks. We can always come back to this, but like I said, I think they'll pass it.
Oh, definitely. And I still haven't seen it yet. I probably will wait till it comes out to a streaming service.
Yeah, with the prices right now, it's not. There's so many other movies that I want to see before that one. Next up, we've got Incredibles 2 is now the highest grossing Pixar movie. This is not surprising. The first movie was such a big hit, and it was such a buzz when this second movie came out. You could imagine that it was going to do good. Now, it has not passed Frozen, that's for sure, but I guarantee you that if it does pass Frozen will have a new idea for a second movie to pass that up.
So previously, Finding Dory was the highest grossing Pixar movie, and Incredibles 2 has brought in domestically $602 million in North America, another $562.5 million worldwide. Totaling over $1 billion in the box office.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very popular movie. When I worked at the Disney store, that was one of the biggest requests for more toys that had incredible stuff attached to it, like dolls or like plushes. So it didn't surprise me when they finally announced that they were doing Incredibles 2.
Yeah, it took them forever to come out with it, but they addressed that in the beginning of the movie, which I thought was kind of cool. Definitely one of the better movies they put out in recent years.
Agreed.
Alright, so up next we have the Captain Marvel images that were revealed from Entertainment Weekly. I'll put them up on the screen here so you guys can take a look, but we got a lot going on. First off, isn't that the villain from Guardians of the Galaxy?
I can actually explain this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've been following this one pretty hardcore for the last couple of months. So just announced they're not going to be doing an origin story for her. They're going to jump right into the action, yes. And I think that's what we're seeing now. What you were talking about is Ronan the Accuser right here. He is actually Kree. He's more of a radical, but in this movie it looks like they have a bunch of people coming together. He's part of Guardians of the Galaxy as well. That's why they're working together, is probably because they are part of this team. So basically they're going to be joining this team, and Jude Law is supposed to be the captain as Captain Marvel. But there has been some talk about him potentially being even the bad guy of this film. So he hasn't really been explained yet. So hopefully they have also rumored that the trailer is going to be coming out in the next 2 weeks. So that's something to look forward to, and obviously that's an exciting thing, because then you go right into Avengers after that. But do you want to talk about some of these pictures that we have here?
Yeah, so we have a photo of Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, wearing a baseball cap, not sure what's on there.
Shield.
Okay, Shield, but she has a Nine Inch Nails shirt on, which is pretty cool. Now, this was supposed to take place in the 90s. Nine Inch Nails was pretty popular in the 90s, so that's probably a picture from there. Then we got a young Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson. He has a cut over his eye. This is before he lost his eye. And we got a few footage of when Captain Marvel Brie Larson was a fighter pilot. I'm not quite sure who Maria Phantom is, though.
She's supposed to be. There's another.
Or Photon, sorry.
Yeah, her daughter is supposed to be another Marvel character, like a Captain Marvel character.
Okay.
So that's kind of like an Easter egg. I actually think that this is when she apparently comes to Earth, maybe, and they do a more that's not her, like she may be alien, and she gets her powers, and then she joins that crew and then comes to Earth to fight the Skrulls here, who we have as the next picture. But I think that's going to be how she keeps her secret identity until something obviously happens. But that's people were saying that's going to be her origin story. I don't think that's going to be her origin story. I think that's just going to be a subplot in the movie.
Yeah, probably just like a backstory, flashback maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But the Skrull, they were rumored to be in this movie, and here they are. Kind of reminds me of like a Battlestar Galactica type of makeup they have going on.
Yeah, or the first Star Trek movie.
And then also Pierce Brosnan is seen.
Oh no, that's Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh, Ben Mendelsohn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that too. I looked at it the first time and I went, "Oh man, Pierce Brosnan's in this." And I read the caption. I was like, "Oh no, that's Ben Mendelsohn." Looking really close.
Yeah.
Looks just like him though.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be his human form in the movie, and he's actually seen. I think he's right there in the front. The front left, he is playing Talos, who is supposed to be the leader of the Skrulls. So
cool! I can't wait for this trailer to drop. It should be here soon. With their releasing these images.
I guarantee you, Marvel drops a minute 20 trailer for a teaser, and then somewhere in November we'll get either a teaser for Infinity War and then a real trailer for her movie. But they're playing this pretty close to hand because it's supposed to be a pretty amazing movie.
And speaking of superhero movies, just a quick rumor here. Jeffrey Dean Moran, he really wants to play DC's Lobo. Last week we talked about that he'd be great as Batman's dad, again, in the Joker movie. But that would be really cool to actually see him as Lobo. I think he'd be great for that role.
Yeah, I've never really followed Lobo's storyline, but they could really do some makeup on him and make him look like the character, I think, for a live action. So that'd be interesting to see.
Moving forward from there, we have a new movie that's in pre-production right now, and that is the 80s movie Dune. And it actually has 2 stars that have been cast. Rebecca Ferguson, she was in Mission Impossible Fallout, and then Timothée Chalamet. He's going to be playing Paul Atreides. Previously, that was played by the main star in Twin Peaks, Kyle MacLachlan. This has been known to be one of the best, or one of the better sci-fi movies released ever. I didn't really get into it. I was more of a Blade Runner fan over Dune. This movie could be good though, with a strong cast like this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who else to cast. The same with you, I've never seen Dune in its entirety. So I would probably have to see it before I could actually say what I think. I guess I'm with you too. Blade Runner was definitely something more interesting than a lot of the other sci-fi movies that are out there. But last we can still put good hopes in this one. So we've got some news about XXX4. It is expands with a company called IQIYI. If it actually has an acronym for it, that'd be great to know.
Yeah.
It's a streaming service from China. It's a very big streaming service. So basically, with their U.S. ties, it's going to bring in a XXX4, which I'm sure he's pitched to everyone except for them, and then he pitched to them, and they're like, "Why not?"
Yeah.
So with that though, there's going to be a couple of movies that are going to be also heavily invested in. The Beast, which we don't really know about. And then also a counter spy movie, which is also not that known about. So it seems that this company is trying to get in, with Netflix, trying to stream stuff and put it in the theaters. Looks like that's what they're going to try to do here, unless they're going to set XXX4 right to DVD. Streaming service.
Yeah, that's what I think they're going to be doing.
Yeah, so
they're going to make an exclusive movie for maybe.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they're aiming at, because they have it's a pretty well-run company, so they have enough money to fund these movies. So it'd be interesting, because we just had that other one released last year, I believe. So, and that, I guess that was pretty good. And
yeah, it had a lot of Chinese actors in it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why.
Yeah, and they probably funded a good portion of it. They saw a good return on it, especially probably overseas. So, I mean, if they streamed that overseas, I'm sure they'd get a really good reaction. They could probably also dub it at the same time for China.
Oh yeah, and I've noticed the H Brothers, I believe, the production company from China, has been really popular as of late. I've seen them a lot in the beginning of the movies. Most recently, I saw that in the beginning of Mission Impossible Fallout. It showed their logo, so they helped fund that movie. And so China is really on the up and up with their movies.
Yeah, I think
they're growing more than Hollywood, I think.
Yeah, well, they actually have, and I think we were talking about this a while back. I don't know if you remember, but they actually have so many theaters that they only allow so many movies each year from America. So with their hand in the pot, they can actually have them play domestically over there without having to buy them or pay a lot of money. I think that's what they did with Transformers for a couple of years. It made it easier for them to put that right into the theater instead of having to buy out and only do it at a certain amount of theaters. They were able to play it throughout the whole country.
That makes sense.
So there's a lot of different things that China's trying to do because they don't want to. It's pretty expensive to bring a flick over there, and like I said, they only allow so many movies a year to be played over there. And luckily, there's only a certain amount of action films, but like this really helps, especially with something like XXX.
Yeah, the Chinese Iron Curtain, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
This next topic is about Mattel, the toy company. They are creating a new division to create films. And the Oscar-nominated producer, Robbie Brenner, is going to be heading it. They want to create movies based off their toys, and a few brands that they have, just to name, are Barbie, Hot Wheels, and Polly Pocket.
And those are, like you have Thomas the Train, a lot of their toys are really kids' toys, so I don't know if they're trying to push, I hope they're trying to push for more kids. If they're trying to get movies out, because that's all they really have is their kids target. An adult movie, they already have so many of the big adult movies. They have Jurassic World, they have DC Comics, they have quite a few other, I believe Toy Story and Cars and all the Pixar movies. I wonder what they would have, what they'd want to do with that. Hot Wheels, I could see that they do maybe a Fast and the Furious kind of movie.
Oh, kind of like what they did with Need for Speed.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. That and maybe Polly Pocket's like a high school movie. That's the most That's the most extensive thing I can think of. Or like Barbie in high school or middle. That's the only thing I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
That could be even close to for teenagers or. If they're really advertising for that market, because I think a lot of their toys their big toys are only advertised for kids that are younger. So, Mattel, good luck.
We got movie trailers.
Into movie trailers, our first one that we have is At Eternity's Gate with William Dafoe, Matt Nicholson, and who was the last one? Oscar Isaac. I believe it's a biopic of Vincent Van Gogh, and I'm really blown away by William Dafoe's portrayal of him. Obviously we don't know how he was, but he plays him so well. To where you've read about him in history books and you've learned about how he was, how kind of shut off and kind of crazy and alcoholic, and you see this in the trailer. It's a really good job.
Yeah, after seeing this trailer, I am really excited for this movie. Van Gogh is probably one of my favorite painters. I studied him in college, and I think that William Dafoe does a great job portraying him. I can't wait to see this when it comes out in November. Looks like it comes out on the 16th. Okay, so we have Instant Family, starring Mark Wahlberg, Rose Byrne, and Tommy Bun Segura. Tom Segura is in this one. I follow his podcast, so he's been talking about this one for a while, and it looks like a great movie to watch with your mom. It looks like a fun comedy, a family comedy. Instant Family, basically what it's about is a couple finds himself heads over heels, or not heads over heels, in over their heads rather, in adopting 3 looks like Mexican babies. And it should be a fun movie and has little laughs, little gaffes.
I think it looks fun. It's got Mucky Muck in it, and I love Rose. She's awesome, and Tom Segura is always a good casting choice for like an uncle. The girl, it's the little girl from Transformers.
That's who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she is now a teenager in the movies, not a kid, and I think they're playing it off pretty good because, you know, she's got 2 younger siblings, and it just looks like a really funny family film, like I said.
Okay, and the final trailer for this week is Wildlife, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Carey Mulligan, and Bill Camp. This movie is about a boy who witnesses his parents' marriage falling apart after his mother finds another man. This movie looks like it's to be a very heartfelt movie, a lot of prize, a lot of emotions. I believe this is Paul Dano's first movie, the director.
Okay, it was him. Okay, I thought his last name was Dino. Played in...
He was in Looper, Prisoners.
Little Miss Sunshine, yeah. Wow, that's good on him. This looks really well done and well shot, and Jake Gyllenhaal's a really good actor to have in it. But, wow, this looks really good. I'll be seeing this. When does that come out? It does not say yet.
Supposed to be coming out in November. It came out in Lebanon actually in July.
Well, then we need to go to Lebanon and go see it then.
Movie reviews.
Okay, so as far as movie reviews go for this week, I went to go see the movie Searching, which was starring John Cho, Deborah Messing, and Joseph Lee. This movie is about a 16-year-old girl that goes missing, and her father looks to search for her by finding clues throughout her laptop. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very interesting in how it was filmed. In the beginning, it starts as a family. They get the Windows XP as their first computer, and it shows the old YouTube. A lot of nostalgia in the beginning for me. They talk about Pokemon. And then eventually, unfortunately, the mom, she passes away from cancer. The daughter and the father grow apart and stop talking really about their emotions with each other and become distant. Skip forward from there, the daughter goes missing, and John Cho's character is frantically searching through his laptop and her laptop to find his missing daughters using the clues. This whole movie is done on the computer, which I thought was really cool. Whenever they needed to show emotion, they had FaceTime up to show their facial expressions. They used a few social media apps on there. It was Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, and YouCam. And then the acting in this movie was great.
Right now,
you can see their emotion just right on the screen. As far as the story goes, it was kind of predictable towards the middle-ish. You can tell what was going to happen. But overall, I really enjoyed this film. I definitely recommend it. And if you can, watch it on a laptop. I'm sure that'll be a mindfuck.
Oh man, what's going on with my laptop? Why are there 3 screens? Who am I talking to? Oh, it's just a movie. It looks good. Is John? His name's John Cho?
Yeah.
He's extremely good from playing a half-baked person on Harold and Kumar to these action movies. I mean, he even did a really good job as Sulu in Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
So he's definitely. I wish that he was in a lot more films, but this is pretty cool. He's getting a chance to do something different.
All right, that's gonna do it for this week's movie lowdown.
And for the question of the week, what toy company do you think will be making movies next?
Comment below and let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. I am TJ Washuk.
And I am Febreze.
See you next time.
This has been a Two Guys production.